Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include For the Fun of It. Fun of It. The Lioness mock jail held on Saturday, March 14th, far exceeded the expectations of the Lioness. Lioness President Doris Pink had a few words to pass along regarding their mock jail.
Okay, I'd just like to take a minute this evening to clue up our mock jail project. You've seen Lioness members on your TV program the last couple of weeks saying that this was going to happen, and sure enough the day came, March 15th, and it happened, and we were surprised, I must say. Our Lioness Club, we expected, I don't know if we expected, we hoped to raise $500 at least. The rest of our goal for the Maxims Camp was another $500, and we had hoped that this mock jail would raise that amount of money, maybe get up to $600 or $700 even, if we were lucky. And it turned out our final profits from the project were $2,103.18. So certainly it's a project that was much more successful than we had anticipated. And of course it wouldn't have happened, it couldn't have happened without the help of a lot of people. And I'd like at this time to thank some people who helped out in pretty special ways. I hope I don't miss anybody here, but anyway, Food Center, Midtown, Seaside, George Harrod, Roy Marsden, Gord Tucker, Pro Hardware, they all helped out with pop, chips, wieners, buns, all those things. And they were all donated. And of course, when you have goods like that donated, it certainly helps your margin of profit. And also, I'd like to thank Riffs for the comforter. They gave us a comforter that we sold tickets on during the mock jail. And that was won by Loretta Young. And I'd also like to thank Sea Freeze for the use of the knit. And if you saw the mock jail on Saturday, you knew our jail was made out of knit, and that knitting came from Sea Freeze. I'd also like to extend thanks to some people who were involved in the project, people other than Lioness members. Certainly Constable Cale Jesty, who was there in his patrol car all day, certainly added a lot to the day. He gave some visitors to our town the fright of their lives, gave them a story to talk about, tell people when they go back, certainly. Gave some kids a real thrill to be carried off in the paddy wagon, siren squeal and all that. So thanks, Constable Jesty. Your contribution certainly added a lot to the flavor of the day. I'd also like to thank Lions, Mike Devon, Stan Cosser, and Ernie Green, who helped go around with the Lioness picking up prisoners. We just didn't have enough drivers, again, partly because the response was so much greater than we had anticipated, and we just couldn't handle all the calls. So those three Lions gave us a hand, and we thank them for that. Now, those of you who watched the mock jail on Saturday, you knew there was live entertainment at the community center. Those people, Leonard Porter, Cal Bowdridge, Bernie Sternford, George Melbourne, Helen Marsden, they were there for the whole afternoon. They called and volunteered their services, and it was all volunteer. They didn't charge us anything, and they certainly brought the people into the community center, kept them there, kept people there, entertained them while they were there, and added to the whole spirit of the day. And you know, it certainly got people in the right mood for the project. So thanks again, guys. It was wonderful. It was marvelous to see you get involved to help out our project like that. Want to thank BBS for the publicity and getting it off the ground, but more importantly for the, we call it semi-live coverage. We taped it, and then a half hour later we brought it down and showed it to you. But again, people at home could see what was happening at the community center. They couldn't see it live, but they could see it a little bit later. And again, it got people in the right frame of mind, got them involved in the project, and that was marvelous. Again, it's something that without the coverage of the BBS, I don't think the project would have been nearly as successful. So thanks. I'd like to thank also Lioness Betty Devon and her committee, the projects committee, came up with the idea. I mean, we've heard about mock jails being run in other communities, so it's not, you know, original, but it's our first one for our town, and there was a lot of bit, you know, I wonder should we go with it, will it work, and things like that. And that committee did a lot of work in getting the ground rules in place and so on, and you know, canvassing the town for the donations and that, and they did a good job, and they should be thanked. And so thanks, girls, and thanks up to all the Lioness members who turned out, who took their Saturday and were at the community center the whole day. And you know, it's funny from commitment from people like that anything like this can work. But you know, with all those thanks we've given, all those people who did what they could, did what they wanted, and so on. But even with all of that in place, the mock jail project would have gone nowhere if the town hadn't gotten involved. And you know, it's especially good at the end of a project like this to be able to say thanks to everybody. You know, the town turned the project into a fun day. It was a fundraiser, we know that, and it was supposed to be a fundraiser. We raised funds and we had fun doing it. And that was what it was all about. And we were worried that it wasn't going to work. We said, you know, maybe people won't like the idea, and you're not going to like getting drawn away from your dinner table and plucked off of the community center, and nobody's going to put anybody in jail. But it didn't work like that at all. People got really involved in it. They had a good time. They liked seeing it was hauled off, and when you see people coming in and 7 or 8 prisoners in tow behind them, you know, everybody was applauding and stuff like that. So it went over really, really well. And I must say, it's really good. It gives you a good image of the town and the public spiritedness of the citizens. And so thanks to everybody in the town who took part in that. And with all those thanks I give out, I just do have to have one apology. And I know some people paid to put people in jail, and they said, geez, that person never showed up in jail. You know, I never got him in jail. And that happened sometimes. But I have to tell that we did make an honest effort to lock up everybody that you wanted locked up. For different reasons, we didn't get everybody. Some people just couldn't find them. You know, they're just out around somewhere. They went to this house and they weren't there, and there was somewhere else and they weren't there. Sometimes we got the wrong people. You know, we have 2 people with the same name, and somebody calls in and says, we want this person picked up, and sure enough, we picked up a person by that name, but it wasn't the person you wanted. But these are the kinds of things that I think, again, there was more of that because the response was so much greater than we anticipated. But we certainly didn't mean to leave anybody out. We didn't mean to offend anybody. And so on behalf of the Lioness Club, I would apologize to anybody who didn't see their person locked up. So again, just to finish, I'd just like to thank everybody who was involved. And again, it feels great to be a part of a town that has got such a good public spirit, a good conscience. Thank you.
We have a few clips from the mock jail for you now.
You're probably aware that this is our mock jail day. And I'd just like to show you, point out some of the things we have. And I suppose if Karen can follow us around the community center with her camera. Right up here, you can't see it from here, but we have a jail, a cell, with the criminals' uniforms inside, and it's just for picture taking. So if anybody, when they get released from jail, they want to get a picture to remember where they've been, they can go over here. Up in our jail up here, I don't know what's happening. There's Fred and I being master prisoners. You are not to be communicating up there. We have the ladies' jail over here, and Mrs. Linda Vetcher, the grade 1-2 teacher. She's been miserable. The first prisoner today. And Mike Divin goes without saying. I mean, everybody knows he's a criminal. We just got caught at it. So he's up there up in the jail. And over here, Lioness Paulette Jesse in uniform today. She's giving our bread and cold water to only some prisoners, not all of them. I got the whip for the others. The ones that were really, really beat right out, they got to serve a long time, they'll get a bit of cold water, a bit of hard bread. And she's taking the time on them as well. Also, in the wicket, a little while now, there'll be hot dogs and pop nut for sale. Right here, we're selling tickets on a comforter. It's compliments of riffs, is it not?
There's compliments.
Compliments of riffs, and we thank riffs for that. But so anyone who drops in and wants to take buy tickets to get a chance to win that comfort in today, feel free to do so. And down here we have Sheila, Lioness, Sheila, Grace, and Alice. And they're the, I don't know if you call them recording secretary, judge, jury, the whole kit and caboodle. But if you pay your money, they'll lock you up, and that's for sure. So hopefully it'll be a nice day, and it's all for a worthwhile cause. The Max Sims Camps for the Handicapped. Now stop this prayer noise about Christmas. This is the second cell.
Believe it or not, I'm innocent.
Biggest person in the world. You're not innocent. We know you're not innocent. Over to the take it to the beta. Thank you, thank you. And I don't know who you teach. How long is it for Mr. Ingram, Eric? 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
spoke with Union President Ron Cooper regarding the layoffs at the Seafreeze plant here in Burgeo. Ron, as Union President, how do you feel about the layoffs at the Seafreeze plant here in Burgeo?
Well, Dave, we're very disappointed to find out that we're going to have 21 jobs gone, 15 unionized positions and 6 management positions. Very discouraging. Last year, when Seafreeze took over the plant in Burgeo, they guaranteed the people of Burgeo meetings in community center. We had meetings in plant cafeteria with Bellberry, and they said there would be no job loss. So there might be people would have moved to other positions, but there wouldn't be no reduction in the number of people working in that plant. And today, you know, when they say they're taking 21 positions out of it, that's very, very disappointing. Very disappointed to find out that they're going to lay off people.
Okay, there are 21 jobs gone to date. Do you anticipate any further job loss?
The plant manager, George Coley, said that that would be the end of it. But this week I had a letter from Bellberry, and he said that he could not guarantee that there would be no layoffs in the plant in Burgeo, and he said that he couldn't guarantee that anybody would be working in the Burgeo plant. So I would not be surprised if there were other layoffs. I would not be surprised.
So are you pleased with the progress being made by Seafreeze this year as compared to last year?
No, I'm disappointed in the amount of fish that we've done this year. Under the Seafreeze deal, we were supposed to get 40% of the frozen at sea fish that's being landed in Cancel. Last year, the deal come through with the foreigners. They did the frozen at sea fish in Cancel. They had a lot of fish trucked in there, fellets from Rocky Harbour, Stephenville, and places like that. And they had fish brought in from Cancel while the plant was closed over because of the fire. And they give a lot of work to our workers there. But this year we've been told by Seafreeze that the only fish that we're going to get is what our boats, the quota that our boats been given. And up to this date, we've had a large reduction in hours this year compared to last year. Our discharge have had low weeks. Our trimming department have had low weeks, especially our trimming department. They've experienced a lot of the trimmers are getting 23 and 24 hours a week. Our packers have been down, and our night shift is down, and virtually everybody in the plant is getting less hours. And my understanding is in Cancel that they're still doing the frozen at sea fish. We sent a letter off to Ottawa to get this silver ache for the company in place of the caping that they lost, because Mr. Sullivan said that if Carl Sullivan, that if they didn't get the silver ache, then that meant that Burgeo would have to suffer some more downtime. And we approached the government to see if we could get that silver ache. Now they got a extra 10,000 metric tons of that silver ache, and I've asked the company here if we were going to get any extra fish this year, and we've been told by George Coley that it looks like the end of May or the middle of June that'll be it for us.
Okay, so Burgeo have lost 21 positions. Has Cancel lost any job positions?
I understand they've lost 30 jobs as maintenance and supervisory staff. Yes.
Okay. How do you feel regarding the decision for one of the Burgeo trawlers to go out and help patrol the Grand Banks 200-mile limit?
Well, I think the demonstration itself on the Grand Banks against foreign overfishing is a move that we got to make. Maybe we should have made it a year or two ago, but it's better late than never, and I think it's one of the better moves that we're going to make as a union and as a province as a whole to take steps against foreign overfishing. I think it's a good thing, and I'm glad that some of us are going to be a part of it.
Okay, so how long will the trawler remain out patrolling banks?
Well, the Cape Nova's going to leave here Thursday evening, 6 o'clock, and she's going to sail to St. John's, and Sunday evening they're going to leave St. John's and they're going to sail for the Grand Banks, and they're going to arrive back in St. John's the following Sunday.
Okay, so they'll be back in St. John's a week from tonight.
No, yes.
Ron, I understand that you're out trying to get the businesses to support you in the food bill for the crew that's gone on Cape Nova.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. All down around St. John's, Marystown, all around the Burin Peninsula, fisher products in their boats, and the trawlermen there are going out, are going to receive UIC benefits. And the businesses and people around town have financially supported in their food bill. Aaron Burgio, the boat that's going to go down to the Grand Banks, Cape Nova, was fishing, so our crew was not laid off. So Sea Freeze is going to fuel the boat and is going to pay the crew their per diem. But we're asking all businesses and anybody that's around town that would like to help to throw in a few dollars to help to pay for the food of that trawler crew while she's out on the Grand Banks could pass it along to Mayor MacDonald. So we're asking for support from businesses and from anybody around town that would like to support the cause.
Okay, Ron, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's about it, Dave.
I also contacted plant manager George Coley, but he declined an interview. Three teams from the Minor Hockey League, the Novice, Bantams, and Midgets traveled to St. George's on Saturday, March 21st to compete against the teams there. Another group traveled to St. George's yesterday to compete. We will have highlights of those games next week. All of the games will be shown in the near future. Staying with hockey, a team of players from Burgeo traveled to Springdale to compete in the St. Paddy's Day tournament, held there every year. The team made it to the championship game, which they lost in sudden death overtime. Here are some highlights.
Burgeo scored the first goal of the game at 21-25. 20-20 in the second period, left in the second period.
These games will also be airing in the near future. Tune in to Channel 10 for the exact dates and times. We feel that we've kept you in suspense long enough about the wall behind the curtains. We have that program ready to air, and tomorrow night it will premiere on Channel 10. Let's take a look at the finished set. Well, here it is, the set of Just for the Fun of It. This is another first for us here at BBS. This is BBS's first game show, and it's similar to the TV series Win, Lose or Draw, which aired a few years back. This program will be making its debut on BBS tomorrow night at 8 p.m., so be sure and tune in to find out what it's all about. We're hoping this program will have as good a response as the story time which we introduced a few months earlier. So be sure and tune in, and remember, it's just for the fun of it. Also be sure and tune in on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. for the second edition of Monthly Magazine. This month's topic is the 4th annual Lioness snowmobile trip. We hope you'll tune in. Now we have Mayor MacDonald with the Town Council report.
Good evening. Burgeo Town Council report. New Healthcare Center. Council has been advised that work will start on this project early spring. Council held a public meeting to discuss the possibility of Burgeo trying to get an arena. At that meeting, there was also an 11-member committee formed to do a survey around town to see how much support was in Burgeo for an arena. To date, Council haven't received any response from the committee. Representatives from Royal Hope Mines was in town this week to meet with the Burgeo Town Council to discuss the possibility of setting up their operations in Burgeo. Royal Oak Mines is expected to purchase the Hope Brook mine from BP Selco in the near future. New Fire Hall. The new Fire Hall is now completed, and Council is planning the official opening ceremonies following the summer break. At this time, Council would like to thank Fire Chief Matthews and the firefighters, Burnets, for their dedicated services free of cost into the new Fire Hall for the town of Burgeo. I have received letters from students as far away as El Salvador and as close as home to Ramya, asking for information concerning the town. Town Clerk Stanley Kosser has sent them all an information package concerning Burgeo. Items in the information package were things such as town pins, postcards of St. Manx Park, history book of Burgeo written by Aubrey Matthews, and other items. Council feels this type of information package will boost tourism in the community. Paving of roads around town. Council is expecting to know in a week or so if funding will be approved by the provincial government to repave the roads around town. Funding has been approved by the federal and provincial governments to complete paving on the Burgeo Highway. This funding is cost shared with the federal government contributing 90% and the provincial government contributing 10%. Council sent a letter to the Honourable John Crosby, Federal Minister of Fisheries, regarding the cutbacks in fish allocations, especially the loss of capelin quota to sea freeze. Support was given in the request for an increase in the silver rake quota for sea freeze. Now, I guess as we're all aware by now that sea freeze did receive additional quotas of silver rake in the amount of £22 million. Building Committee reports. A request from an individual to start up a motel business in town. This would include a 20-foot extension to the present building. The motel would consist of 7 rooms, kitchen and restaurant. His application was approved in principle, subject to approval from other departments involved. A request was received from an individual to set up a sporting goods outlet in the property known as Ann's Outboards. His request was approved. A request from an individual in the Reach area to construct a shed 10 by 12. His request was approved. A request from an individual in the Mrs. area to construct a shed 20 by 24. His request was approved. Correspondence. A letter was received from Miss Linda Hyde regarding Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro request for rate increase. She is urging that a letter be written to our MHA opposing any rate increase. It was decided by Council to send a letter to Mr. Gilbert opposing any rate increase. A letter was received from an individual in the Reach area concerning low water pressure. Council agreed that town manager would respond to the individual's letter. A letter was received from an individual on Ayers Hill concerning water line in that area. Council agreed to investigate the problem early summer. A copy of a letter was received from the Honourable David Gilbert that was sent to the Honourable John Crosby in support of additional silver rate quotas for sea freeze. A letter was received from the Ramsey Town Council concerning Crown Life Participation Challenge. A letter was received from an individual concerning water lines going under his property, which was giving him problems in keeping his lawn in good shape. Well, that's it for your council report. Good night, and may God bless.
Community events. The graduation class of 1992 will be having a cold plate takeout on April 5th. The cost for each cold plate is $3.75. The deadline for ordering is March 27th. To order, please contact any member of the graduating class. The driving examiner will be in town on Wednesday, April 1st, weather permitting. We will be taking requests for the upcoming bandwagon until closing time on Tuesday. If you have a request you'd like to put in, please put it in between now and then. Well, that concludes tonight's program. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. just for the fun of it. And on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. for Monthly Magazine. Please stay tuned now for a tape of Gord Drake. On behalf of BBS and the BBS volunteers, I'm Dave Cooper. Have a great week. Good night.